Hey, welcome back to the SBP podcast, Mobile Filmmaking. I'm your host, Susie Botello, and you're listening to episode 216. Hey, we're back, and we got one of our favorite filmmakers with us, Miguel Lopez de Leon. How are you today?
I'm good, Susie. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good considering. Considering how life is treating us all.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, Miguel, I want to congratulate you on a few things. First of all, multi-award winner with your first, wait, hold on. Is this your first feature film that you just made called Bellows?
That is my second feature film.
You know, I was kind of remembering that you said, yeah, that's right. So congratulations with that.
Oh, thank you.
The other thing that I want to congratulate you on is also you were part of the film festival and you won one of the categories.
Yes.
And so what category did you win?
Best category short film is what the award said, and I believe it was ultimate.
Mobile.
Yes, ultimate mobile.
What happens is like you did everything on your phone. You did all the audio, the video, all the recording, all the capturing.
Yes.
All the effects.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I also want to talk about a little bit is one of the things we did and where you participated at the film festival, even though you participated with the film, you also participated in another way. And I want to talk about that a little bit as well. But first, tell us about your film.
My feature film is called Bellow, and I finished it about a month or two ago. And it's my second feature. And the logline is a man is trying to survive a relentless haunting. It's in the thriller genre. And I wanted to explore topics like mental health and the supernatural and death. And hopefully it's a spooky thriller. At least that's what I'm hoping, with some comedic elements.
Oh, yeah, it's got it all. Yeah, you do very well on the spooks, Miguel. So you created all the effects from, you were using well, I'll let you say it. I mean, sure. I know, but I want you to tell the story.
Of just how I made the film?
Yeah, how you made the film, because everything you used pretty much was on the phone already, right?
Yeah, all I use is iMovie. I mean, it's how I make my short films. Since we last spoke, I did one. Well, I was last on your podcast, I did one short film, which is called Inner Voices, which was the short film that screened at your festival in April.
That was, to me, because I've watched a lot of your films.
Yes.
That one to me was, I would say that's the best one that I watched out of all of them.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think it had to do, so Miguel, you're an actor.
Yes.
And so we should establish that.
Right.
You're really good with dialogue and the character. You have this character down. And I saw a bit of that character in your feature film.
I did Inner Voices at the very beginning of this year. And then shortly after is when I started shooting Bellow, the feature. And in a lot of ways, Inner Voices was sort of not a proof of concept or a treatment, but I was trying out a few things that I utilized in Bellow. So Inner Voices, the short film, is about a man who tries to control his negative thoughts. And it's hopefully comedic, but it has an important message because throughout the film, he's sort of bickering with his own thoughts. And I made the film because I feel like, while yes, outside influences and outside voices in people can definitely be mean and not nice. Oftentimes, for a lot of us, it's the things we tell ourselves and the way we, speak to ourselves, or the thoughts we think about ourselves, that are the most cruel or mean or negative. So in the film, the character I play, Connor, just wants to do something very simple, and he just wants to go to the beach and just have a nice day. And he's getting all these thoughts in his head saying that he's not good enough, no one would want him there, people are going to make fun of him. Just all these negative thoughts. And then, eventually he just stops listening to his inner voice and just lives his life anyway. Not by silencing his inner voice, but more coming to terms with it and being at peace with it. It's still there, and it'll always be there, but it's something he can manage. And hopefully it was a funny way to explore, topics like mental health or anxiety or things like that.
Yeah, things that are very, very real,
Yes.
and using the narrative of a film, fictitious, right?
Yes.
To relate and connect with someone at that level in such a detailed way, because that's the connection when people see that and say, oh, you know what? That reminds me of that phase I was going through where everything just looked bleak, nothing looked great, So I loved the message of your film, and it was definitely funny. There was no way around that. Everybody laughed. Everybody really enjoyed it. I think one of the things that you said at the film festival this year, which other people also said, and that included your film, was I enjoyed every single film.
Oh, yes.
And there were a number of people that said the exact same thing.
I loved the International Mobile Film Festival this year, Susie. I loved it last year. I was so happy to be able to come back a second time. And I had just as much fun. The quality of films that were chosen, that you chose, were so enjoyable and inspiring. And of course, meeting all the filmmakers and learning about their process and their filmmaking techniques was really so much fun and just really inspiring. And especially the feature films. The short films were fantastic, but the feature films that showed at your festival this year, I loved.
Yeah, I was really glad that Justin Ho came. His film was so indie.
It was really good.
And I say indie because it was about feelings, emotions. Like, I've watched that film myself 3 times already.
Mm-hmm.
And I cry every single time.
I cried at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most of the audience did.
Yeah. It's so touching. It's one of those films, like, I don't know. It just, it's funny that it's called Broken Pieces because it grabs you. And I was just going to say, like, it breaks you in a way, if that makes any sense, because it captures you, it captivates you, and it just doesn't let you go. One of the other things that was really cool was this session that you participated in.
Where we all sat in a circle.
Yeah.
I love that.
I have to tell you,
yeah.
I really, really, and a lot of it, as you remember, was a little bit spontaneous.
Oh, totally.
The funny thing that I really enjoyed was learning to teach something that I was also experimenting in.
Mm-hmm.
But I like, in other words, like, I knew the beginning, what the question was that we needed to kind of work out.
Right.
And I knew what the conclusion was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But everything in between was the meat, the juice, what we learned from. And I learned from.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and explain that on your end, if you don't mind.
Sure, sure.
That experience was for you, because I loved your participation in it too.
Oh, well, thank you, Susie. I love being there. And I think the thing that's again, I've loved all the festivals I've gone to, and I've gone to uh, even more since this year. I've really made an effort to attend as many as I could, um, and I've loved all of them in different ways. But I think, as I've said before, what's so special about the way your festival, the International Mobile Film Festival, is set up, and the way you've set it up, it really fosters the filmmakers getting to know each other through different activities, not just screenings and panels, which you have and which are great, but just the way it's set up, you really get to know each other for 3 days and form connections. And it's a very supportive atmosphere, which is what I love about uh, your festival. And that exercise that day, what I remember from it is it just sort of organically happened that we had this exercise about breaking up into smaller groups, like 3 or 4 smaller groups. And we all had to sort of talk about what challenges as filmmakers we had and solutions to fix it. And I believe in my group, a lot of it was sort of some of the fears, as me and the other filmmakers agreed on, was the writing, writing screenplays, and a lot of it was just the technical aspect of filmmaking, and especially where it's going with AI and whatnot. But what I really was touched by was the amount of people, especially when all those smaller groups, all got together in a big circle and we all shared. I don't know if you remember, Susie, but a lot of people spoke about things like anxiety, imposter syndrome, just generally being nervous to put your story out there and to let it be judged. And it was, that's the exact topic that my short film Inner Voices was about.
Exactly.
And I knew I had those feelings, not as bad as the character in the film, but definitely elements of anxiety. And as you know, Susie, I went to school. I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts for acting. I did not go to filmmaker school. So I, as well as many people, I do have a voice in my head that's like, okay, well, you're not technically trained at this. You're not, maybe you're not as proficient in the vocabulary or the technicalities or the equipment or the techniques of filmmaking. All those voices in our heads that can get in the way of just doing it and just seeing our work for what it is. And it was so refreshing to hear all these other filmmakers say the exact same thing. And not just other filmmakers, but other filmmakers whose films I just watched and thought were brilliant.
Right.
So it was really like a bonding experience and a very comforting experience and a very human experience that I think a lot of people maybe don't have the opportunity to speak about or are not encouraged, but like are not encouraged to speak about,
It's a little intimidating, right?
And I think I just think humans in general, you want to put your best foot forward. And so we all, or a lot of us in filmmaking, sort of promote that, hey, I got in this film festival and hey, I won these awards and I did all these, great things. But not many people speak about, like, oh, I was really nervous, or, oh, I didn't feel like my film was good enough compared to the other films, or, yes, I thought this film was brilliant, but at the same time, I was happy for the other filmmaker. It also made me feel really bad about my own work, and I think that's a very human thing. I don't think it's something that needs.
It's very real.
It's very real. And I think it's very natural. I think sometimes there's an overcorrection to like, oh, you need to fix that. Rather than that's totally normal. It's a human experience. I mean, hopefully it doesn't get to a point. And
it's very true. It's very true, Miguel. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
You're saying all these things and I'm like, I want to butt in, but I
No,
don't
please.
because it's very interesting. And you're leading this. It's something that I want to address because, of course, now in my case, right, I was practically peddling for anyone to make a movie with their phone.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who had never made a film before. And so for me to say, hey, make a movie with your phone. I know you sell shoes at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you can make a movie. Everybody can make a movie. And what you're just talking about, that happens with mobile filmmaking because there's a lot of people who are making films for the first time. And we're telling them, right? All of us are saying, go make a movie, make a movie. But it's a story. And it's always connected to the person. And so, of course, internally, people are going to feel a little apprehensive about it and, you know, filmmaking. And you're thinking about the industry, and it can be very intimidating because you see what's out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I think is really good to address for our listeners, because a lot of them are exactly right there.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I think that exercise that all the filmmakers did at your festival, everyone was comforted by it. Everyone said they really enjoyed it. And everyone was, I guess, a little surprised that everyone else in that circle felt the same way and had similar insecurities.
And that's the whole message of that was really that community, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And having, because you don't go to Google for something that specific. I mean, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck.
But, you know, you don't. You go to your friends, you go to people you know, but then the people you know, the friends you have sometimes, they're not connected to this particular thing of making movies and putting your voice and your story out there like that.
For sure.
And on the big screen, right? And
Yeah.
so for some people that intimidation just sort of just stays and it just like grows, or you're trying to deal with that by yourself. And some of those things can be ingredients for your next movie. But if you have a community that you've met in person and they have a community of people that they've met in person that you haven't met. And I think that was the point of that whole exercise, is with this problem, with this issue, with these topics, that you have a community. And that's a better resource than going to Google, right?
Oh, for sure. And, you know, I mean, yes, we can all go online and sort of research people we might want to work with, but there's nothing like meeting someone, you know, at a festival like your festival, spending 3 days with them, watching their films, seeing their work, interacting with them, getting a feel for their vibe and their energy, and just interacting with them as people and hopefully connecting. And I think that exercise was a really great exercise at connecting.
Yeah, I remember trying to break up because so everyone broke up into smaller groups, and then I asked everyone to join up into one big group.
Right.
And then we had that big circle. And then it was like we had to extend this session a little bit into the break because you guys were so into it.
Yeah.
And everybody said, no, we don't want to break this up. And I thought that was a great sign.
Oh, for sure. And as you know, Susie, I listen to your podcast. I'm a big fan of this podcast. I think it's a great resource and guide, like a guideline to what is possible and what people have done. But I think that exercise really sort of showcase that, you know, there are the stories that these filmmakers are making, myself included, do come from somewhere. It's, you know, it comes from people's lives, their experiences, their histories. And there's a certain element of sort of chance that you're taking when you decide to put that on the big screen. There's a vulnerability to it. And I think that, that comes, it's great when people are clapping. It's great when people give you awards, but there are also those times when people may not get it or aren't necessarily clapping. And you sort of have to go through those times too. And I think indie filmmakers especially understand that, and they understand that it's not, it's great, it's amazing work, but there's also challenges to it. And it was just really nice to sort of be able to connect and talk with people and realize that, everybody's sort of going through this in some way or another.
Yeah, I really loved it. I really loved it. I loved you guys getting up there and all, rehashing what your groups talked about, what you got out of it. And I really do think that the future of indie filmmaking in general is about community. I really do feel that, especially during a time. I know you've been, we're recording this September 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that just over this week, it's Wednesday, and just over this week, I've read a few articles about the film industry in general. And it's been like this for years, even before the pandemic. It's just been flipping out. It's all due to the streaming, cable services, all this stuff. Then after the pandemic, the whole thing really kicked in. And then we had the strikes. I mean,
yes.
You were there in LA when that happened.
That's right.
So,
and then we had the fires.
And then we had this whole last year, really around the fall and the winter of last year, things just really got kind of messy, I guess, for the film industry in general. I would say technically for the entertainment industry, which includes everything.
Sure.
Because everything is very connected. That's why it's called the entertainment industry. But yeah, things were very crazy. And now things are even a little crazier because, for example, I just heard, first of all, let me rehash one thing.
Okay.
The one thing that is happening that's affecting because I feel like I'm just going on about things here. The one thing that's really affecting the filmmakers and the industry itself is right now, 2025, there's just changes happening every day with things that are affecting everything. And so the unknown is not helping. And I know for a fact that there were people that were supposed to be starting working on their productions before the summer, like in the spring or in the summer. And I know for a fact that they haven't started yet, just because everybody's dealing with stuff.
Sure.
And I think a lot of these things, though, what happens is you're dealing with life, you're dealing with all these things, you're dealing with work, you're dealing with all this stuff. And your film idea keeps getting pushed back into that back burner because, like you said, there is also that apprehension because people aren't sure. So your priorities become way evident. But if we don't have a community, if we don't have people that we trust that we can reach out to, hey, how are you doing? How's your project going? And things like that, we really don't have the motivation. And I feel like it's not a danger or anything like that, but I would hate to see a lot of people sort of, get so busy and wrapped up with life that they forget about their creative side. And that goes beyond filmmaking, I think. Like for you, you're a writer also?
Yes, I write fantasy novels.
Yeah. So are you, how's that going?
Well, I've been focusing more on films, but
That's good.
My books are still obviously out there they're available. But I've been focusing more on films. And to what you said, I think absolutely, so much, I filmed Bellow. I filmed Inner Voices and Bellow throughout the beginning of this year. It was, as you said, very difficult to just sort of find the time, not just the time to do it, but to be in the right headspace to do it.
Yeah.
And when you're also, as you said, dealing with a lot of other things. But I think, for me at least, going to film festivals like yours and also the other film festivals I've gone to really has helped in terms of, like what you said, fostering community and just meeting other filmmakers, other actors, directors, editors, cinematographers, everyone, the cast and crews of all these films, and seeing people's work and the stories they want to express. So I think that's helped me. I just came from a film festival in Salt Lake City, and it was awesome. And then prior to that, I was in some festivals here in LA, and I've been to Portland and your festival and Boston.
You're the festival guy.
Well, it's so like you said, it is nice to make that connection because you of course, to see your own screenings and to see how audiences react to your film is always fun and interesting and educational. But to really just meet other people who are in the same boat as you said, does foster a sense of community, and it's comforting.
I know that when I was working, we were like weekend filmmakers, like practically every weekend. And we used to say, like, okay, who's coming up with the next film so we can get back together and work together again, because it's such a, filmmakers. I said it, okay, so when I started this podcast back in 2017, I used to say it way more often for some reason, but I want to say it again. Filmmakers are a very special people. I fell in love with the filmmakers that I worked with. Their entire personality, in a way, is very passionate about being part of a film. Because a film is, so you write books, right?
Yes.
And most of it is you, am I right?
Well, I mean, I would think most novelists, yeah. I mean, you work with editors, you work with, but yes, as you're writing the first draft, for sure.
Yeah. So with film, though, outside of the writing is not the film.
Right.
And so the production part, that is, you can't do that alone. I mean, you can, you know what I'm saying? But for traditional narrative films and films with multiple locations, more actors, and all of these things, like, yeah, that becomes very difficult. I've seen some superheroes, filmmakers that have basically directed and acted with a crew. Like, remember Levi Austin Morris in Paralysis, right?
Yes.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them do it once and then they never want to do it again because it's crazy.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So on that note, let's wrap around and go back to your film, because you did do an entire feature. It's like, well, all right, it's like 42 something minutes, right? Yes. So it is a feature film, but it's not a full length, right? But it is a feature film.
Yes.
But here's the thing. You directed, you edited. Not only did you did everything on the phone too on this one?
Yes, I made it exactly like how I made my short films.
Wow. So you did all that, and you did all this by yourself. So tell me a little thing. So there's a scene that has to do with you opening doors. I don't want to give it away, but I thought you shot that very well because of the pacing on it.
Oh, thank you.
And it looks, I mean, it was very, to me, it was like, oh my God, you really did really good at this.
Oh, thank you.
For some reason, it just was so fluid and so quick and so snappy, but it looks like you didn't film it, but you did. So how did you do that?
Well, I've done, keep in mind, I mean, just anyone listening.
I know you've done 60 films, okay?
Well, no. I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, keep in mind, I'm relatively new at this. So I'm learning as I go. So thank you so much. I did do my first feature, which was called Walk Silent. And as we've spoken about before, it really was sort of a challenge just to see if I had done short films by myself, meaning I acted in them, directed them, wrote them, edited them, and all that. But those are short films.
Yeah.
They were challenging, but I wanted to see if I could do it for a feature-length film, if that was even possible. So I did that with Walk Silent, and it did relatively well. But even when I watch it now, and after time has passed, I really thought like, oh, okay, a lot of this was just exhaustion, as you said. It was, it does take a team of people, at least for your first, at least for if you're attempting something bigger in scope.
Yeah.
So while I was really happy with Walk Silent and it did relatively well, I immediately learned from it. And so now that I did Bellow, I paced myself much more. I sort of knew to the extent the exhaustion would be. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, like, oh my God, it was so exhausting. I mean, it's overwhelming. Just the amount of
shots. It really is. Yeah.
It really is. Like the amount of shots and just sort of keeping everything in line. And, like with most films, you don't shoot in order. It's all over the place in terms of the story, in the sequential order you shoot. So I knew that. So I paced myself a lot more with this film. I took more of my time with it. And
so you did shoot it chronologically, basically?
No, I did not.
Okay, good.
I did not. And but see, that's what I mean. Like it's challenging to keep that all in order.
Right.
Without a script supervisor or someone, it was just me. So it was.
So you didn't have a shot list, or did you?
The thing with. I don't. I've tried that. And the thing with that, Susie, is I always end up changing my mind and it just confuses me even more. Like in the moment, I'm like...
That's because it's all you. It makes it easy to change your mind. Yeah.
Oh, of course. If I had a whole team and investors, right, I'd have to explain.
But if you're a director working on set and you change your mind, right? Yeah. People are like, no, because that's not connected. You're going to break the connection between this and that, and you're going to miss out on this, or you're going to create a new plot, or God knows what.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I guess one of the perks of doing it all on your own is you could change your mind on the fly, and you don't have to explain it to an army of people and get everyone on the same page. A drawback, however, is that there, like you say, there is no one to tell you, hey, that might not make sense to the other 1,000 shots you just took. That might not sort of be cohesive with the flow and the pacing. So it's a lot of work, but I loved it. And I think with this film, Bellow, I think I used everything I learned from all the short films I did.
So, okay. So that one scene, though, sorry, I really love that scene.
Which one, Susie? Just say it, because I'm not sure.
Because,
I opened so many doors.
So there was one where you're upstairs and you're opening the door, and then you open one door and then you're standing in the doorway.
Oh, yeah.
And then you open another door and you're standing. But see, there's a cut in between each one of these doors. And you did them boom, 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 like that. Yeah. And it was very professional.
Oh, thank you.
And so what I'm trying to say is the patience that it took for you to set up the tripod and go back, because when you're doing this by yourself, you don't have someone framing your shots.
No.
You have to keep going. I've had to do this myself, during the pandemic when, announcing the award ceremony and everything over here. I was like, okay, back and forth. You're framing. Oh, okay, I sit a little more to the left. Okay, that doesn't look right. A little more lighting. You're going back and forth 60 times to get a 4-second shot.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're doing a feature film, and you're doing a lot of shots like this. It's not, I'm just shooting this one scene where I have to be patient. Like, you're doing that with every single one.
Right. Yes.
So that's my bravo to you.
Oh, thank you, Susie. Thank you for noticing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. A lot of people, that I talk to about their films are like, oh, thanks for noticing this. I'm like, no, man, I'm just giving you the basics that I notice. I know the pain. I know the, but I also know that you've just created something that's forever. And like the first film that you were just talking about,
Yes.
which now I'll let you continue after breaking you up on that. But you go back and you watch and you've learned, and this is what you were going to get to. You've learned through all these other films that you've rewatched, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I've done, well, with Inner Voices, I've done 14 shorts. And so there's a lot of, but keep in mind when I had never done this. So the first 5 films were really, I mean, I just was learning on
right now,
learning
just
on
kind
the
of
go.
flipping out right now. I'm sure some of our listeners are like, oh, the first 5. I haven't even done 3 yet.
Oh, well, you know what? So the thing is, I wouldn't have done 1 if someone had said, okay, you have to learn to use a camera.
There you go.
I would not. The only reason I was able to do any of this was because of being able to use my phone. We all, I mean, I've said this before, but as a novelist, I used to go on book tours and go to book festivals and Comic Cons, and enough readers, but especially beginning writers, would email me and ask me questions about outlines and things like that. So enough of that happened that I made my own YouTube channel and did videos saying how to do outlines and book launches and whatever I could offer. So unknowingly, I was learning to use, learning to use the phone to take videos, learning basic editing and lighting and the audio. So, and I did book trailers during the pandemic for my books. And so I unknowingly was making little films with my phone. And so it wasn't such a big leap when I decided, I'm going to try to do my first short film. I've gone to some festivals and studied the films, and I think I could do something like that. I don't know, but I'll try. And I think had someone said, no, you can't use your phone, you have to learn how to use a quote unquote professional camera and adjust the lens and adjust, the depth and all, I would have been like, okay, it's already overwhelming. I'm not, for me at least, I'm not going to even
it's for everybody. That stops a lot of people from following, and pursuing their dream. And I respect when people are able to vocalize their dream.
Oh, for sure. You're manifesting it in a way.
Yeah. And I've had teenagers ask, how do I know what my passion is? Like, how do you get passion?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this to me, it's very sad because someone didn't keep their dream alive throughout their childhood and pay attention to it. What is this developing into and all these things? Because a lot of people don't know to do that, and no one was guiding them for that. Exactly. And so they don't even know what passion is or how to develop that. And you don't. What I tell people is that passion finds you.
Right.
And it won't let you go.
Right.
Because you keep it alive, and it's like your pet, right? You keep each other alive.
Right.
And once you have it, like, it's very hard to quit once you're passionate about something. It's harder to quit than to keep going, no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I keep telling people that it's like, respect your dream. It's yours. You don't have to tell anybody, but respect it anyways. And believe in yourself, because no matter what path you take, it's going to lead you to it. Your dream is on the horizon.
For sure. And I think that's going back to what you said earlier, Suzy. I think that, fostering community and festivals like yours and podcasts like this one also let people know the options they have for making those dreams happen. I don't think, it's funny, although a lot of people, most of us, are used to viewing content on social media, are used to all these videos of dancing videos or reels or whatever, TikToks, whatever it may be. They don't recognize that that's basically a short film. It's a video you take with your phone that you then edit and then you post. And nowadays people make sure that the lighting is correct and that the audio is correct, and it's all done with their phone. So whether people realize it or not, most people are using their phones to make short films already. It's just the label of a short film that no one really uses, but we're used to viewing and consuming this content. So I think avenues and resources like this and like your film festival make people aware that, hey, you can make a film with your phone. You don't have to go the old school route. You can there are other avenues for you to work in this industry, especially in the indie space. And that was the experience I had. I really didn't want, I had before, after I graduated from the academy, done the traditional route of getting an agent and going to auditions. And it was fine. But now I had a career as a novelist, and now I'm back in making films. And now it's just so great to be able to make films, act in my films, and then be able to, send them to film festivals and hopefully be able to participate. And
guess who else you meet at film festivals? The directors.
Of course, you meet other filmmakers and directors, and hope.
Because as an actor, okay, here's my reel. Oh wait, watch my movie.
Right. Exactly.
You're right here. The reason I say that is because there was a filmmaker in our film festival that came a few times, and there was another filmmaker that came, but this one filmmaker, he was from San Diego. I'm talking about Anthony De La Cruz. Give him a big shout out. So he met this other filmmaker, and the other filmmaker cast him and paid him for a commercial.
Oh, that's awesome.
See? So that's what I meant by that.
Oh, yeah. As an actor, you're in a room full of directors and producers and screenwriters and filmmakers. So absolutely. I've met a ton of people who I'd love to work with.
So cast yourself in your films and use that and that experience not only when you go to film festivals, but when you're out there promoting your film, promote yourself as an actor and a filmmaker.
Oh, for sure.
I know you do.
Yeah. And of course, I encourage, if that's the path people choose
like your
take.
social media posts say, right? Okay, here's the link. Here's my film. Watch my film. Can you believe I'm also an actor?
Right.
It's like, wait, hold on, really? And have the person that watches your film be another director, another filmmaker. Usually it is, right? And have them watch that film and go, Miguel, I like his expressions. I like this. He'd be great for this one film that I'm about to make. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'm just saying.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, of course. That's the dream.
Right? And there you go. See, no matter what path you take, whether you're acting, filmmaking, whatever it is, you're going to get there.
Yeah. And I think, all these film festivals and all these opportunities and these, meeting people and who are also filmmakers or actors, directors, producers, writers, it's tons of opportunities if you make use of it.
And what other things could people like you who are learning, where else could they go? What could they do to enhance their expertise, by making more films and possibly by making them with more people? How could they make that happen?
Well, again, I do consider myself a beginner at this, Susie, but for me, what really helped me was just to keep making film after film after film.
There you go.
And it was trial, because you learn organically. And again, I act in my own films and I write them and edit them. And I don't say that in any way to brag. I say that more that, well, one, there was no one else to do it. So I either had to do it or it wouldn't happen.
Right.
But also I wanted to learn. I was aware enough that I knew what I didn't know. So, and I didn't know anything about filmmaking. So I really wanted to learn about as much as I could about each job. I wanted to learn about editing. I wanted to learn about the producing side and directing, and of course, acting and writing, and just being on set and and sort of the whole process. So that's what helped me get hopefully better and a little more confident in making films, was to just keep doing it and watching other films, which is, I think, also a great benefit to film festivals. Because then you can talk to the filmmaker afterwards and ask them, hey, that was an awesome shot. How did you do that? Or the lighting was amazing. Was that real, or did you do that in post? Or, was that actually how it was lit?
So Miguel, what is next for you? What is your next book and what is your next movie?
Oh, wow. Well, next book, I have no plans for that. But the Bellow was just finished a month or two ago. So I'm doing the rounds at the film festivals for Bellow and Inner Voices. And I really consciously wanted to attend as many festivals as possible, because last year I did not attend as many as I could have, and I really wanted to make an effort. So I've been flying all over the place, all over the country, going to these film festivals, and hopefully I get to do more of that to promote Inner Voices and Bellow. And that's it. For future plans, I for sure want to make a third feature.
Nice.
But I really do want to work with a team.
Yeah.
Because even with Bellow, as much as I tried to pace myself, and I was aware from my first feature how tiring it was, there were still many moments that I remember just being like, there was no more gas left in the tank. It was just sort of, like as much as hard as I was trying, I wasn't able to give 100% once I was in front of the camera, because I had spent so much time setting up the lights and the shots and everything, constantly throughout the day, that by the time, half my energy was gone by the time I was able to act in front of the camera. I did my best, and I think it turned out, I was happy with the way it turned out. But, I would like to have more people involved and work with a team, so I could give 100% in front of the camera, and 100% maybe even in directing. I think I said at your film festival, Susie, someone asked, and I said, what my ideal would be is to maybe be a producer and then an actor in a film, but as a producer, to have the right to sort of edit and to approve the editing, because performances are made or broken in the editing room. So that's what I would love to do, but who knows? For now, I'll just keep doing everything until I find a team.
That's awesome. Well, let's find you a team.
I know, I'd love to. I'm looking.
We'll have to hopefully make a big shout out about that. Guys, if you are in the LA area and you want to help a good person make a good film, get in touch with Miguel. Miguel, what is your Instagram?
All the links to my Instagram, IMDb, and everything are on my website, which is Miguel de Leon Art, MiguelDeleon art.com.
Okay.
I'm pretty much everywhere online. So just my name, Miguel Lopez de Leon, will everything will come up.
Nice.
All the social media and all that. My trailers are out there. And yeah, I make vlogs of my experience at all these different festivals.
I'm enjoying watching those on Instagram.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just feel it's a nice sort of way to give back to the founders to the people who organized the festival, just to let them know I liked it, and also to help promote their festival. And I've watched vlogs of festivals that I haven't been to yet, just to sort of get a feel of it. So
well, I loved it. I loved both of the ones that you did for our festivals. So both years.
Well, thank you. And I loved your festival, Susie. It was, again, my second time at your festival. So much fun. So supportive. Those exercises of, when everyone shared, were so meaningful. And I remember feeling like, oh, wow, okay, it's not just me who's feeling these things. And when Inner Voices screened, I was so surprised by some of the other filmmakers who went up to me and said, "I feel exactly like that, like the
Oh,
character, who felt anxious and had negative thoughts about himself." And they were like, "I feel like that too." And I was so touched by how open everyone was by it,
yeah,
Uh,
everybody felt comfortable with each other and opening up. I know Justin Ho was saying that. He said there was such an overwhelming feeling of intimacy, like
mhm.
his college days, he said. So he was able to open up more.
Oh, sure. And I mean, I listened to your podcast interview with him. How he was in the podcast is exactly how he was in the festival. I
Hmm.
mean, like, he's so open and honest with, his journey as a filmmaker. Uh,
Yeah.
and I think that makes people, more at ease um, and more inspired, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
rather than this perfect polished image, like, oh, everything's great and so and so is very successful. It's nice to sort of have that, but then also be like, hey, there are insecurities, there are other aspects of filmmaking that are challenging, and that's okay too. That's all
Big
part of it.
time. That is, the whole thing is that's why I keep saying the future of the success of this industry has a lot to do with community.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have that, if you can inspire each other and keep creating these films, like there are not enough films. There could never be too many films.
Yeah, for sure.
And if people can keep doing that and just keep inspiring new people and new stories and new films, I mean, the world will get better because people will be able to feel things through these stories that connect us. And I really do believe in people. I believe that we have hearts that are valid and that we just need to, respect ourselves, like what you were saying from Inner
Mm-hmm.
Voices, right?
Sure. Yes.
And yeah, and keep making films, keep sharing stories. I mean, in the end, it's about the storytelling. Films are just the best way to share the stories.
I agree. When I decided to do Inner Voices, I was a little skeptical at first. Like, okay, it's a guy who's hearing voices, that's basically belittling him. And I was like, I'm not sure how this is going to be received. But I felt like it was true. I felt like it was something I've experienced. That sometimes our own thoughts are much meaner than what other people think of us.
Yeah.
And so it was so nice to hear that people identified with it. And I think, going back to your earlier question, I think that's also how you can improve as a filmmaker, is to sort of tell your story. Don't feel you have to change it or water it down to make it more palatable. Like, because I think most people will be surprised by how many people feel the exact same way you do. And if you sort of dumb that down or lessen that because you think that's what you're supposed to do, it's a shame, because a lot of people are going through the same things as you and will really appreciate you showing that in your work. They'll feel less alone.
Wow. Say goodbye to our listeners, Miguel.
And goodbye, listeners. Thank you for listening. And thank you, Susie. I've really enjoyed chatting with you as always.
Aw, thank you for being here.